Hey guys, Divine Phoenix here once again. Just wishing you a happy Monday, April 20th. Just touching in. It's been a little bit, but been more and more motivated to make some more videos, and just wanted to kind of let you know what I've been going through since our last time speaking. Been doing a lot of cleaning. Physical cleaning of my space, my apartment, bedroom. Did massive stuff today. And it kind of came to me, and even just this afternoon, a couple hours ago, was that this motivation to clean and kind of purge and declutter my space and get rid of the dirt and actually move. I moved the couch and vacuumed underneath it, under the oven today even. I mean, it was kind of like pretty deep cleaning, and I know that's kind of usual spring cleaning, you can kind of claim it as, but this was a deeper meaning. I knew what was coming up for me was just purging these ideas with regards to myself and the presentation that I have, ideas that I had for this new business. If you remember if you've seen my introduction video, kind of talked about that I'm in this place of transition into a possible new career area as far as like being on YouTube and becoming kind of an alternative healer. I do Reiki, sound healing, distant Reiki even, and oracle cards and different things. But it's something that there's been growing passion for. And my sister is also on the same avenue. And so we've been kind of collaborating on establishing a new business. So that's our business is Unilome. So that's why you'll hear me say Divine Phoenix with Unilome. But I've had this kind of preconceived idea as to what starting a business would look like and how putting videos out on YouTube would look like. I downloaded all these all these apps and did research on how to edit the videos and do cool links and make the videos a lot more exciting and accessible. And the inspiration just wasn't coming. And I realized with a lot of this cleaning and purging too, I also had to release these preconceived ideas or these attachments to how this business would look like, what my online personality would be, et cetera, et cetera. And so, that really came to forefront today. I've been seeing a ton of repetitive numbers. That's one of my big, synchronicities that my team uses to communicate with me. So I've been seeing a lot of 1111 or 111, and it's happened twice in the last week where I'll see 1111, 1212, 111, 222, 333, and I was hitting it a good 6-7 times in a day this last week. So it's a big communication thing. Same thing for me today was a ton of ones. So just, interesting energies. I've been going from extreme exhaustion this last week to a lot of energy these last couple of days, which has kind of helped with this cleaning purge of mine. And so it's been a very interesting time. I have been kind of catching up with some of the people that you follow on YouTube. When I first started on my awakening process, I was huge into higher self. It was my favorite channel. I think I listened to every video. I consumed hours of YouTube, which kind of perpetuated, hours of self-research and diving into the, esoteric traditions, questioning my belief systems and kind of the big kind of foundation for a lot of my current work. And so, touch base with a couple of those videos, which kind of inspire you. Once you kind of start on that track, it tends to inspire you to kind of listen to a couple other videos. And so I know that was a big inspiration for me at this time too. And a good friend of mine, a psychic medium, Becky Costello, and I know her personally, and she's the one that trained me in Reiki. Wonderful human being. She's been coming out with updates on energy fields, and I just know there's a whole lot coming at a lot of people. And so I was feeling this as far as fatigue, body aches, difficulty sleeping. I would basically, I think all of last week, or a good 4 or 5 days, I was getting woken up at one morning was 1:11. I mean, you can't make this shit up. I'm not gonna lie. 1:11, 3 o'clock, 3:30. This morning was 4:44. Like, no lie. And so these things are just coming up again. It's, when that kind of tends to happen and I can feel these energies coming in, I just try and sit there and ask my team, what do you need to know? Or what do I need to know? What are we working on? Do I need to meditate? And I've been doing a lot of oracle cards for myself, and a lot of self-reflection, a lot of meditation, and a lot of the big themes are, go for it, do this, like take your next step. You're the one holding your back, but the energies are right there and ripe for the picking. And then what was coming up for me earlier today too was that, again, when I had this preconceived notion of what my persona should be or how it should look, I was getting this message that whatever I'm saying to you, which I have kind of in light encoded. So whoever's hearing this and you're getting something, it's resonating with you, that's good. It's source light and DNA activations and things that were meant for you. But I was getting the message like, you're getting prompted to make these messages and these videos, but you're holding yourself back because you think it should be a certain way. And these need to be out there for whoever's finding these videos so that they can get that resonance and they can get that activation when it's their time. And so I kind of got scolded a little bit to just do it, like drop the pretense. And I know that's a big part of the law of attraction. So whatever's meant for me will always find me no matter what. And often it's us getting in our own way or having attachment as to what that should be looking like. And so I'm just putting this out there for anybody who needs to hear this right now. I mean, you're not alone. Everybody's going through it. And so, yeah, a lot of sleep disturbances, a lot of physical fatigue and just heaviness, where you can be completely energetic and feel, I mean, I've also been out hiking and out in nature. Luckily it's springtime, with this COVID thing, situation, a lot of time on my hands. So been out with my roommate, hiking in nature, good, 2 to 5 miles a day, getting a lot of sunshine, grounding. We've been avoiding paved paths because it actually feels better on both of our bodies. To be walking on the earth. It's still a little cold here in Minnesota to be putting my bare feet on the earth, but I'm looking forward to doing that this week since it'll be in the 60s. But a lot of different things are changing, and it's all for the good. I'm hearing a lot of people talking about, kind of the metaphor of the tower coming down, and that's a huge part of what's been happening on this planet, and this big kind of reset of our lives and our routine, myself included. And again, if you've seen my introduction video, I talk about how I am a healthcare provider by training, in Western medicine, and I to the point, I operate on people. I mean, I'm not the surgeon, but I'm, assisting the surgeon, and practice medicine and see people in clinic, and been furloughed. So I kind of want to talk to that about people who think that, all medical providers, are essential and they must be working at this time. And I would love to. And I actually I do have the capacity to do so. I also have licensure and the ability to moonlight at a local ER. But because my specialty is in a surgical field, I'm just not feeling compelled to work in that capacity at this time. I just feel like it'd be more of a hindrance possibly, and that could be, again, another barrier for me to kind of break down over these next couple weeks. But I'm feeling more and more called to be doing this type of work, getting this message out and this kind of a presence out there. I just know my heart's more into this aspect, and it's needed at this time. And again, I keep getting, reassurance from the universe that this is the right step and the right stuff to do. So just trusting it and, like trying to surrender and release the attachment to how that's going to look, how that's going to be presented, how it's going to be perceived, and all of that. So, that's kind of what I'm looking to do. But yeah, I've been really enjoying this change of pace, this change of lifestyle. And, again, another big part of the cleansing for me is I got to a place professionally that I never thought, I wouldn't be working, and, right there claiming unemployment with the good majority of my company, actually. I mean, this is not to be bragging in whatsoever, but just to let you know that, the capacity is there, and that this pandemic, I'm not trying to mitigate the severity of it and the loss of life, and to who it's affecting. It has no limit on who it's touching, how it's affecting the lives. It's affecting everybody on this planet. To the point that, I have 2 undergraduate and 2 graduate degrees. Never did I think I would be at a point in my life where I am not working. This is the start of the 4th week now. And, going through this transition of change. Who am I? Who am I professionally? Where are my passions leading? I've always loved being a healer. I've always loved helping people. I've loved working with my hands, which is why I do a lot of surgery. And I've enjoyed that front. But it's, I'm still trying to find a way to do that in another capacity. Even when I was doing surgery, as I was, closing patients, I was doing Reiki, energetically to that individual and providing healing energy, kind of seeing like a golden thread closing everything, trying to mitigate any emotional trauma that the body remembers from this type of, types of procedures that we were doing. So there was a lot of things I was doing even prior to that was kind of preparing me for this transition. So, just kind of speaking to those of you who might be in the same boat as me, that, this is a huge transition, huge loss of life, huge daily disruption to the way we used to be. And honestly, I don't see us going back. And honestly, I don't see myself practicing medicine to the capacity I did before. I do feel like medicine will be changing in a whole. I've always kind of felt this urge that it was going to become much more holistic, much more kind of addressing the spiritual, mental, emotional bodies, as well as the energetic and physical bodies as a whole versus, just kind of seeing you, if you were to walk in my office and, we were to discuss your current complaint. I've always seen it much more holistically. I've always practiced much more holistically, where I've partnered with my patients. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you pros and cons so you can make that decision on what's right for you. But a lot of these things have been changing, and I've been welcoming the change. I knew that this change was coming. Again, I didn't know how, and I didn't know to what capacity. There's a ton of talk of new earth and transition into a 5D earth, in those on the higher timelines, which I've been doing a lot of work, and I consider myself on that pathway. And again, from my introduction video and what I've talked about before, I am much of a guide, kind of a light worker, SAR being of some, if you want to put a label on it. And I've known myself to be that for quite some time. So just transitioning into trying to guide people on this pathway and the potential for our lives moving forward. I do see that this is likely going to continue moving forward. I think it will be a very slow economic recovery, not nearly as quick as a lot of people are hoping or anticipating. And even about a month ago, even when I was still working, just before my furlough started, one night I was awoken with this. It it was early in the morning. I mean, we're talking 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had huge jolts of energy. I didn't even go back to sleep that day. Yeah, and I think I worked the following day, and it was just so much was flowing through me. This huge inspiration came through, and it was this understanding that money, our attachment to money, our need of money is going to change drastically. Because what money only has value because we say it does. When you actually look at like a $20 bill, the paper value of it is not $20. And there's really very minimal amount of value to it intrinsically. It's not like a block of gold. And again, gold just has value because we say it has value and we agree that it has value. And it came to me that evening that a lot, that I can kind of see the collective consciousness changing away or shifting out of this attachment to money, this attachment into a consumerism, capitalistic, driven society where you are, in the machine, you're in the rat race and you're just spinning the wheel, and you wake up, eat, go to work, make money, consume, go to bed, get up, go to work, make money, consume, and go to bed, and just repeat. And we're being changed into moving away from that type of a mentality. And so I think I'll be doing a video in the near future talking about, kind of the history of money and how I see it changing. There were great apps a couple years ago, and they never quite took the foothold, but I think that was actually the foundation of what we're going to be moving into, is kind of a agreed upon service to others, as a form of currency. So whatever services you can bring to your community, maybe you cut hair, maybe you do lawn work, maybe you do home improvement and, construction, carpentry, plumbing. Those are all skill sets that are going to be needed moving forward. And I do see that people are going to kind of trade almost their services or their specialties, and everybody will kind of put in their effort to the collective good, and you'll actually get reimbursed based on your service of others, and instead of your service to self. This whole change into 5D living is moving away from this service to self and hoarding possessions, accumulating massive amounts of property and money and possessions, and again, that's part of the big tower stuff that's coming down, is that all this stuff we thought could never break is breaking. All this stuff we thought were solid, undoubtable, like kind of foundations within our society are crumbling because they were never as strong as we thought they were. And they only had power because we agreed that they had power, or we believed that they had power. The facade was very convincing. And now we're starting to see that that's really not the case. And so it's a very exciting time. I've known this again for a few years, that this was, kind of the lifetime we've all been waiting for. Was to see this huge transition, and that everybody here on this earth is a part of it, and, including yourself. So if you've made it this far into this video, I understand this is a long one today, but if you made it this far in this video, there's a reason, and it's because you're either already well on board with these philosophies, or you're starting to venture into this stuff. And again, I'm happy to, help you in any way and guide you in this process, especially if you're new to this. It's one of the big callings that I have, is because I've kind of accumulated a lot of interest in a lot of different things. And, I can kind of help guide you or help you figure out your journey and your pathway. And that was kind of the inspiration of the business that my sister and I are starting, as far as Unilome. So if you're familiar with the Unilome symbology, it's really, everybody's design is different. Everybody's design is unique. And it's kind of this, it mimics the curves, twists, straight lines of your life path. And that everybody's life path is unique and different. And it's kind of their own beautiful creation. So I I think I'll just end that there with this one, and I'll come back with some other, other tidbits that I've been inspired to do some videos about, because I have been hoarding these ideas a little bit over this last week. So I'll try and kind of, as this inspiration comes, just put it out there. Again, I'm trying to release all attachment as to who it hits and how it's supposed to be. It is perfect in all of its imperfections and its own divine timing. So again, if this is finding you and you are new to my channel, please, it's a new channel, so everybody's new. But if you're new to this channel and you please hit, like, subscribe, write comments. I'll try to respond to them as soon as I can, with more information coming shortly. But again, hopefully this message is finding you well, finding you on the path of wellness and wholeness and completeness with the rest of humanity. And you're exactly where you need to be. Anything that is meant for you will never miss you. And so with that, we will end this video, and I'll catch you at the next one. Take care.